Hello and welcome to another 5-minute comic book review. I'm your host, Kevin Given. If you love comics as much as I do, you're going to subscribe to my channel. I review comics for Comic Crusaders. I also have my own franchises, Adolescent Radioactive Samurai Platypi and Carl Vincent Vampire Hunter. They're available on Comics Central, Indie Planet, and Comixology. Check them out. We're going to do our official launch in October 2018. Stay tuned to this broadcast for more information. Also, like the Facebook pages for each franchise for more information. Check out my Patreon site for some neat original artwork and shows that you won't find on YouTube. First, we're going to review Vampironica number 4, and then we're going to look at the trade paperback, The Brothers Dracul. First, Vampironica number 4, written by Greg and Meg Smallwood, arts by Greg Scott, colors by Matt Herms, letters from Jack Morelli. The publisher is Archie Comics, and this is a perfect tale for the Halloween season. Veronica Lodge is attempting to deal with the fact that she's become a vampire and was seeking help from resident genius Dilton Doily in trying to adjust to her new lifestyle. She was in for a big surprise, however, when she went home to discover that her parents, along with Master Vampire Ivan, were trying to turn Archie himself. The vampire's goal here is to turn the entire city of Riverdale. So now Veronica wants to stop their descent onto Riverdale. First stop, Cheryl Blossom's Pool Party, the creative team. Archie Comics have come a long way in recent years, and I'm pleased to see them dabble in the horror realm with their newest look. Greg and Meg know how to deliver the chills to fans of Riverdale teens. It's fun to see these characters as we've never seen them before, aka as vampires, and the race against time to stop the vampire uprising propels this issue into a gory scenario as we've never experienced with this title. All of this creates an atmosphere that even non-Archie fans can enjoy with this intriguing and morbid tale. Great stuff includes Reggie's confrontation with Veronica, and Dilton's brilliant idea for taking out the head vampire. Greg Scott brings us some awesome dark panels that lift this Archie tale up as one of the finest horror comics. The dark panels and sharp contrast bring him into competition with some of the best horror artists, including Gene Colan, Jose Gonzalez, and Ben Templesmith. His visuals are a clear asset and make this comic all the more horrific fun. Highlights include Reggie's vampiric attack and the final splash. No spoilers. And in conclusion, this is a perfect Halloween story with our Riverdale teens behaving in non-Riverdale ways. I love how this story is developing. The Riverdale gang is behaving in ways that we would expect if a supernatural threat were thrust upon them. The vampires are truly scary, and we can see Veronica's struggle to retain her humanity even as her friends are giving in to the vampire way of life. Even if you're not a fan of Archie Comics, if you like a good horror story, especially a good vampire story, you will enjoy this comic book. Will Veronica and Dilton figure out who the head vampire is and destroy him in time? To be continued. 4 stars from this reviewer, a 9.1 rating. And now let's review The Brothers Dracul Volume 1, trade paperback. The writer is Colin Bunn, art by Mirko Kolak, and the publisher is Aftershock Comics. This is an awesome mix of reality and fantasy taking place within these pages. We're taken back to 1400s Romania in style. The history of this nation at this time is rich enough and filled with violent tension as the Christian and Muslim factions go back and forth in wars and rumors of wars. That story alone would be entertaining enough, but we also have the added vampire mythos to bring out the full potential to make this tale a classic as only Cullen Bunn can tell it. Looking at the creative team, Bunn does a terrific job in bringing the vampire mythos to the real story of Vlad and his brother Radu. The true story of the brothers is a fascinating tale in and of itself. The shaky relation they had with the Sultan's son, their time in prison, even in their teenage years, the friction that developed between them, and their relationship to their father. The many times that Wallachia changed hands through these violent times and situations makes it a compelling tale, and it's even more compelling through Bunn's storytelling technique. Great stuff includes Vlad growing from an innocent child into the monster he would become, and the growing conflict between the brothers as one embraces Christianity and the other Islam. Mirko Kolak brings a certain nobility to the brothers and their plight in this title. He knows how to balance the intense action imagery with the more serene visuals that ground us in the era it's presented in. His vampires are fairly original, which is no mean feat in this day and age of constant vampire lore being thrown at us from all angles in every type of media outlet: movies, television, comic books, novels. The fiction and non-fiction blend seamlessly so that at times you don't even realize which is which at first. Highlights include the opening splash revealing Vlad's sadistic impalement procedure and the awesome pinups in the back of the book. In conclusion, this comic book creating team has done it again. We travel through these brothers' lives and see what drove them and propelled them to become the type of men they became. It's poignant and repulsive at the same time. If we don't truly come to accept the decisions that they made, we at least grow to understand why said decisions were made. We can only be pushed so far until we fight back at the injustice that's handed to us. The final chapter is truly heartbreaking when we learn what finally drove Vlad off the deep end. 4 stars, an 8.9 rating from this comic book reviewer. If you love comics as much as I do, you're going to subscribe to my channel. I review comics for Comic Crusaders. I also have my own franchises, Adolescent Radioactive Samurai Platypi and Carl Vincent Vampire Hunter. They're available on Comics Central, Indie Planet, and Comixology. Check them out. We're going to do our official launch in October 2018. Stay tuned to this broadcast for more information. Also, like the Facebook pages for each franchise for more information. Check out my Patreon site for some neat original artwork and shows that you won't find on YouTube. Until next week, this is Kevin Gibbons saying so long. Keep reading those comics.